Welcome to this episode of the Heck Yeah Projector Business podcast. And today I'm so happy to have here my former client and wonderful human design and network marketing lady and 1-3 emotional projector, Susann Bakken from Norway. You will hear the most cutest accent ever in the world. And we both are so excited to share with you today about so many things that will bust through all of the myths and legends and lies and limitations of projectors and how they should do business and what's the best way to be successful as a projector. Because Susann can show us that anything can be done. So welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you today?
Thank you, Alexandra. I'm fine. I'm great. I'm really, really excited to be here and so honored to be invited. It feels like for a projector to have a golden invitation with a stamp on. So yeah, I'm really, really happy. So yeah.
Perfect. And yeah, I mean, let's just jump right in. We had like 2 minutes of pre-conversation before we hit the record button. And the cool thing is that Susann has done business. You have done business both ways, right? And we're not going to say anymore the generator way because generators burn out too, right? We're just going to say she's done business the burnout way and she's done business the glowing sacral and the glowing undefined sacral way. So can you open up a little bit with like how was it for you when you had your Doterra Network Marketing business and you burned out? Like what were the things that weren't undefined sacral friendly for you that made you burn out?
Yeah, that was a lot of things. But first of all, was that I didn't have any boundaries and I didn't have a connection with myself. So I couldn't feel when enough was enough. So I kept working and working and working, and I did all the things all the time. I made a lot of ebooks and served people. I was available all the time. I did everything myself. I didn't outsource anything. I didn't automate anything. I just did it. And yeah, I was really passionate about it. So I thought, yeah, this is fine. I love it. I love my work. My bank account grow and my rankings growed. And yeah, I had a really, really good time. But after a year and a half about that, I began to burn out again, and I started to feel it in my body. My headaches come back, and my body doesn't feel good anymore. So then I was about to give up because I didn't know human design by then. So I just thought maybe it's not possible for me to have a business. Maybe I can't work. Nothing's working, and yeah, I got kind of depressed and really just stepped back, let it all go, and just sat there and thought, what's wrong with me? What's happening here? So yeah, that's in short what's going on.
I'm sure so many people can relate, and I want to take you back there just a moment if you can. When you started burning out, like what were the first signs that this wasn't sustainable, but that you didn't listen to? Where could you have made that switch earlier?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was the feeling of being really tired, and that when your body isn't playing on the same team as you, your motivation starts to crumble. You don't want to wake up in the morning and get going again. You start to and then all the body symptoms that I'm a really connected to my body, so my body tells me always when something is wrong. So yeah, but what I could have done, you know, that's the thing. All my life until I met human design, I have felt that something was wrong, but I could not know what to do about it. So every time I have pushed myself to the limit, and then I have burned out. So I had a lot of crashes up along the time. So yeah, it was really, really hard. And what I sat with was a feeling of hopelessness. I didn't know what to do. Yeah.
This is so good. I'm just taking notes because it's so the things that you're saying. And it's really wonderful that you said motivation, because I was going to ask you, because that's often a big piece of if we can be sustainable or not, right? What was the motivation behind you when you ran your business that way? Was your main motivation to make a lot of money and to climb ranks? Was the motivation, I don't want to put anything in your mouth, but maybe you remember, like, what was driving you at that time? Was it some kind of lack? Oh, finally I'm getting seen, I need all this energy to make me feel validated? Or what was it?
Yeah, it was all the things, because I have been really burned out a few years before that again. So I had to quit my job as a teacher. So I needed a job, I needed to earn money, but also I needed to feel seen and valued, because I didn't feel like I belonged somewhere when I didn't have a job. It was a big part of my identity, like a teacher. I am a teacher. I have always been. So that was a really, really big motivation and drive inside of me to be valued, to be seen, and also paid, valued in money. So it was both and everything.
Yeah. And I remember this was one of the coolest things in our work together, even before we officially started working together, because I was like 8 or 9 months pregnant when we started working together, right? And then I took a month off when I had the baby, but we had one pre-call and we just shifted some little things for you. And after that, while I was having my baby, you had your biggest month in business, I think, either in a long time or ever. So it's just so important as a projector to see, you know, when you are driving yourself from these things, when you're motivated by, and I took some notes, what you said, needing a job, needing money, needing to be seen, needing to belong, needing to be valued, needing to be paid, right? When we come from there, we can push for a while, but that's the place where we can't keep what we have. We can't keep the blessings, we can't keep the energy, we can't keep the motivation, we can't keep the health, right? And so this is so good that we dissected it this way, because I think it will be really helpful for people to not come from these places anymore, right? So what did you decide? How did it twist? And what did you shift?
Yeah, I shifted everything.
Nutshell, just one sentence, just kidding.
Yeah, so this was back in 2019. In December, I was totally gone out of it. I was again burned out. I just want to drag a blanket over my head and hide behind the couch. And then I had a long period where I just did nothing. I had a conversation with a healer that told me to just enjoy life, cut back on everything, just be you. And I started to paint and play with the kids and go for walks and just be in nature. And then I don't know where it came from, but then human design fell down in my lap. I don't know where it came from, but it just hit me. And I have heard about it once before. And then this was when I was in the middle of the rank building in Doterra, and I had a lot of fun and energy. And then when I realized I was a projector, I just laughed. No way, I'm a man, Jen. This couldn't be right. So I just throw it away. But this time I was in another place. I needed it. So when I read that report, a free report that I just downloaded, I don't know where it is anymore, where it came from. But I understood that I was a projector, and all my cells just vibrated. It was like a crazy moment. And my tears came, and I just for the first time in many months, I get a new hope. I just understood right there that this is it. I know I can build business just another way. So, and I can live my life another way. There is a place for me. This is normal. I just need to adjust something. So this was just before the Easter came. So we had planned a holiday on a cabin in the woods with the family. So we went there, and I get up 4 or 5 in the morning every day in the Easter to study human design and to learn everything, so I could understand who I am. And then I started to slowly make changes in my business. I started to go through everything, see where was I hustling, what was I doing, what took my energy and what gave me energy, what let me let me up. I don't know the English, what make me happy in my business. And I started to make some, just zoomed out on it, and I started to delete a lot of things, take a lot of things out of my business. I started to automate so much that I could, and I also hired an assistant. So I started to delegate some things. And when back then I had just my doTERRA business going, so I also started to see my role in the team as a guide, a little bit like I took myself out of the middle of the team and outside the team, where I could be the guide. So when we have for example, a challenge in the team, I'm not doing all the things anymore. I'm guiding the process. I'm taking myself out and be the guide instead of in the middle of the things. And I can use my gifts that way. And I think that's if I'm gonna say one thing, that's the biggest thing, to learn to see and not to do all the time.
I love it. And you've always said that about the seeing, right? It's about what you see. Especially as a projector, we see, and not all the same, but each one of us, we see differently, right? And this term that you use, hustling, right? What do you consider hustling?
Yeah, I think hustling for me, I'm a doer. I'm really a doer. But hustling is doing all the things that you don't want to do, the things that sucks the energy out of you. So just being really have clarity about what is the things that I love to do and what is the things that I don't love to do, so I can delegate or automate or delete from my life. So that's an ongoing process. I do this all the time in my private life and in my business life. I love to make these lists, like the plus side, what does I love, and the negative side, what does I don't like, and just organizing things after that. Yeah.
Beautiful. You defined Ajna doing its thing, right?
Yeah.
So when you're saying doing all the things that I don't want to do, right? I mean, we all do that in life somewhere, right? And that's what really takes us energy. But again, what's the motivation behind a person who does a lot of things that they don't want to do? Like, what drove you there?
Yeah. We talked a bit about the motivation behind everything back there, but I think when I see it in like a human design perspective, I think my undefined heart is a really big, plays a really big role in this, because I did never feel good enough. It was never enough. So when I had an event, for example, or did something for someone, I always promised them that they should get something more. I gave a lot of things, yeah, every day, all the time. So I think the proving is a big driver behind it. And then when you combine it with the undefined sacral, not knowing when enough is enough, it's yeah, it's a quick way to burn out.
Yep, a direct way to burnout.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful how you stated and combine it with the centers. So when you, and here's another thing, three more or two more things that are remarkable about how you've been building your journey is, you're in a really small country, right? How many inhabitants does Norway have?
I think 5.6 millions, about there, yeah.
The size of some US cities, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
But so you do business exclusively in Norwegian, right? In your country, a little over 5 million people, which is when people think, oh my God, my audience isn't big enough, you know, like, oh, yeah. I mean, you're even in a smaller pocket of world, and you're making your business really successful. And the other thing is, you have two businesses. You have a coaching business and you have a very successful network marketing business. So that is something that oftentimes people say only mangens can have multiple businesses, right? So it's not that, and what defines a mangen is a defined sacral and a motor to the throat, right? So those two things, we as projectors, we have a sacral too, and we also have a motor to the throat. It's just not defined. So what does that mean? We have to become wise about it, right? So how do you handle having two businesses? How do you prioritize? How do you make it work for you in that way?
Yeah, I just love to have many things going on. So yeah, I think the simplicity of it is really important. I have learned, I think I can say that I have become really, really good at structuring things and make it simple, and the automation of things. And also that I after I hired an assistant, is taking a lot of this yeah, boring tasks off my shoulders. And what I can, I don't know if I answering your question, but I just want to say that the more I connect with my authenticity, my design, and who I am, the more life force energy I feel glowing inside my body. It feels like, and it's just a small step. So the more I'm on this path of being more and more me, the more I see that I'm not. And it's just the small steps make a huge difference. So I just feel so really, really good when I'm allowed to do the work that I love, when I'm allowed to wake up to a business and I know that that my day is going to be doing something that I really, really love. So yeah, simplicity, I think, and really focused on what I love is the two keys to can have two businesses running at the same time. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, and I always love that you always had your, here's my one-page business plan, right?
Yeah.
So the simplicity of gate 23.
Yeah.
And so when you say the more authenticity I reveal, like how, I mean, yes, we find it in the chart, but what have you found for you? Like, how do you do that? Even sometimes when we get a reading or something, right? Whether it's astro or human design, people explain our chart to us, or when they join a program that you or I might do about the chart, right? We learn so much about ourselves, but how, after bringing it in through the mind, how have you put it into the body? Like, how have you actually activated your authenticity?
Yeah, I do it in the small steps, in the smallest way. So when I'm learning something new about myself, or I understand something new, or it comes like an insight for me often, then I ask myself, how can I do this out in the 3D world? How can I put this out in actions? Because business is action, life is action. You don't move if you if you don't take any actions. So I have that intention with me when I'm joining, when I'm working with a coach, or when I'm joining a course, or I just see a video on YouTube. I just have this this intention about how can I use this? How can this come out in some kind of action? So yeah, I think I'm maybe really action-based. I do something. Yeah.
Yeah, action-based is good. And, that's the thing again, like, how do we take action, right? From which place do we activate our sacral? And like you said earlier, the sacral wants to be lit up, right? That's a big part of it. Like, oh, am I excited about doing this? The doing, right? So thank you for putting that together. And the other question I have from your perspective, and I know we all have like an intuitive understanding of how and why, but what is your personal connection between activating life force energy in your body, in your sacral, and prosperity?
Yeah. I feel like when there's so many layers to this, I don't know where to start, but everything starts with life force. If you don't activate it, if you don't get that sacral glowing, even if you're not an generator, you can't, you it feels like your energy, your aura is closed down. So you can't, no invitation comes in, and no new possibilities shows up, because the life force energy is closed, and your aura tells the world, here's closed, don't bother me. I have enough with myself and what's going on. But when you activate the life force energy, the endless ocean of possibilities just keep going and coming on. And for projectors, it looks like an invitation, like coming for a podcast. And yeah, so, and with that possibilities and the invitations that shows up, there lies also the possibility for prosperity and support in every way. Yeah.
I love it. I would love to know a few more things, but one thing I want to add to this is also the law of affinity, right? If we think of money or prosperity, well, especially let's talk money, because a lot of people think it's a subject that has many corners to it, right? But if you think of money as raw, pure, naked energy, life force energy, because who created money? The creator, right? So it can't be a bad thing. It's just pure energy. So it's not the law of attraction, even though I think the law of attraction says something similar, but the law of affinity, that like attracts like, right? So the more life force energy you have, or the more you're sacral, or the more you're wise about how to bring life force energy through your sacral into your body, and like you say, you buzz in that way, you open your aura, the more money can come to you, because it is that same energy. It is that same life force energy. So does that kind of resonate with your approach?
Yeah, it really does. And I think about it like you can also call it like you raise your vibration, and it works for everything. So if you have a problem, the solutions comes. If money comes, also everything shows up when you raise your vibration. And that's the same for me. Raising the vibration is the same like having a buzzing sacral and running life force energy in your body.
Just different terms for the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So now let's do some more myth busting for Projector.
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite ways to really condition how much life force energy you bring in, or, you know, to be at this open, glowing, sacral aura kind of vibe?
Can you ask another way? I don't think I understand
What are your, because you say you're a doer, right? So what are some good things that you do to help you have life force energy or increase?
Yeah. Okay. So we talked about
because you're coming from a burnout background.
Yeah. So I see energy as a two-part thing. So life force energy is the energy that you create inside your body when you're living your purpose. That's an inside job. But I think also you can support your body from the outside with nutrition, the food you eat, get enough sleep, be in the nature, exercise, do all the things that you need to. And with my background, I'm with all that burnout events. So taking care of my body is really, really important. And the more I age, the more I become a grown girl, I think, the more I need to take care of my outer world too. So the one of them can't live with the another one. The inside and the outside lives together. And I think by taking really, really good care of my body, because I started there. That was my journey. I got into Doterra, and I learned a lot of taking care of myself in a good way, in a holistic way, and get into the power of my own health and body. And that led me on the path to come in contact with my inside and my life force energy. So I think you can approach it both ways. Start with the life force and then take care of the body. But I think they work really well together.
Yeah, that's that's a beautiful explanation. Thank you. Inside job and outside job. So,
yeah.
I mean, okay, so doTERRA, so essential oils are probably a really, you know, good. I mean, a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of viewers love essential oils too. And I have a doTERRA account. I don't have a doTERRA business, but I really like the quality of the oils. They're just, it's a different vibration. And so, and I use my Healy with the frequencies a lot, especially also, you know, we are both similar age in our you're in your mid 40s. I just entered a bit more in my late 40s. But for us women, and especially with the undefined sacral, right? What a lot of people miss, and especially the narrative around projectors sitting around needing to take naps, right? And then there's people who come along like you and me who are like, we want to do things, we have a lot of energy, you know. So, and I don't even have a defined route, so I'm not even like pushing for working out from that space. But what is your approach with like exercise and working out, and like what is the common thing that projectors, according to the rules, shouldn't do, but that work really well for you?
Yeah. I love this question. So yeah, when I learned first that I was a projector, I'm a kind of type that I'm a third line, so I go to every every end of the scale and figured things out. So I was at the hyperactive end when I met human design, and then I'm turned all the way to the other side. I learned that I was a projector, and that's supposed to be a quiet life. You're supposed to relax and take things slow and move along. Yeah. So, and that actually hurted my body. So I started to get some kind of symptoms from my body, and some hormonal changes, and yeah, like the age we are growing into, so we're kind of yeah, in that space. So I needed to start moving again and learn to move my body according to my body. And there's many things in my designs that have pointed me in the right direction, but it's all about listening to the body, listening to what you need. And when you feed your body well, and when you take care of yourself, and when you sleep well, and you do what you love, your body wants to move. And then, so I don't have a exercise schedule. I just I'm all my arrows are right pointing to. So I'm not I like to be in the flow, but I have an intention of moving my body every day. I lift weights, and I go for walks, hikes in mountains, in the woods, and I put on my running shoes. But I don't have an intention to run. But if my body wants, I run. If it doesn't want, I don't. So yeah, that's, I think I'm not the person you go to if you want a plan, because I do not have it.
I love that. And intuitive working out, right? And what I especially love that you said, and I've experienced this so many times in my life. I mean, my life has been different. I'm 47 and I had a baby at 45 naturally, right? So pregnancy was most of 2022. And then 2023, I was recovering from birth and breastfeeding. And then my mom passed, and then my relationship went downhill. So I'm just coming back, from a long time. But I've had most of my life, and this is also in my astro chart, like the setup of my Virgo ascendant and my 6th house placement, there's a lot of health and body and well-being that I'm just natural with. But I also, over obsessing really helps for me, right? When I'm like, oh, I'll do it sometimes, like it's not good for me, because then there's too much space for the voices of today, and then all of a sudden I haven't done it in a week or whatever. So when I really commit to something and I over obsess, and maybe that's also my Virgo, right? I get into the perfectionism, but that's really how I am at my best. So I've had to, at some point, because I had a big gut health issue with candida, but really gnarly candida. And I had to really go on a very strict diet for 9 months to kill it, and very controlling of what I intake. And in my early 20s, I had it before. And then it got me onto this path of, there was a time in my life, and I just come back to it, and it feels so good, where everything I ingest is high energy, high quality fuel for my body. So I'm drinking here is a mushroom tea with like 10 different mushrooms. What I'm doing here is, my 16 ingredient shake. When I mean, that doesn't mean I'm never going to have ice cream again, but then, like, what's the intention of having ice cream? Now, a lot of the time, again, when I take my kids to have ice cream in the summer, I actually don't have anything, right? Because it's like, does my body, and sometimes my body will need that sugar or that cream, right? Maybe after a workout, it might be beneficial, but then it's quality ice cream, right? It has to be quality dairy. So, but I'm just saying this because what you said, when you do that, when you feed your body really well, I eat salads for lunch, you know, I eat lots of fish or high quality meats, your body wants to move, right? And I just started training again too, and I just started a new sport, which is one that I've been wanting to do forever, is jujitsu and grappling. It's so fun. Maybe I'll add in some kickboxing at some point too. But and with the pre-story of what I just said, I just had a baby a year and a half ago. I'm 47, and I started a week ago, and yesterday, a week and a day ago, and yesterday was my 6th day of training. And it's a lot on the body, right? Like wrestling, wrangling, and it's so. And one morning I even woke up and was like, I need to go running today, and I hate running. Like I was running because I'm like, I need to be in good shape. And I got up at 6:20 in the morning. I went running, and then the same evening I was like, I'm so tired, I can't go to practice. I went to practice and I crushed it. Right? It's just to show, and I'm not bragging here. It's just to show that it's the approach to things and how you're behind. And when something is so fun for you, your body will become the vessel for that sport, right? The vessel for that movement. When you do your movement from, I want to be in the best shape of my life so that I can live my purpose and I can serve and I can be the best mother, I can be the best coach, whatever it is, you're the best friend, the best wife, you know, then the motivation behind running is very different than if I say, I should go for a run because it's good for me, right? So it's always what's the motivation behind it, and then anything's possible. And that is what I think is meant by using our sacral wisely, because it's under. So it's just putting a proper intention behind everything is basically wisdom, right? And then one that isn't self-serving alone. Yes, I will benefit, but it can't just be for me. I feel like that's very much what gets the undefined sacral going and buzzing.
Yeah, that's so important now, and that intention is like a North Star. When you have a strong intention and you can really feel it, then you want to do it, and then it's a whole nother thing. The only thing I can just like a funny experience that I have, because I like to go to a studio and lift weight with others and have some group sessions and something. And then with an undefined sacral, and you take in all that boosted energy there, and an undefined heart that wants to show that I am really strong, I am faster than you all. That's a trap. So that's the thing that I need to be awake and really listen to my body and be really aware, because I have burned out many times in this in those sessions that I have used other people's energy when my body was empty. So yeah, but we have a lot of energy. Like projector doesn't mean you're gonna sit on a couch and do nothing at all.
And I'm glad you're mentioning this, because I've noticed this for myself as well when I'm in group settings and I take the sacrals from around me, and it's a really good boost though in order to keep start going. You know, when I do my workouts at home, which I have done in the last few months, like little workouts with an app, which has still gotten me very strong, but it takes a lot more than in a group setting for an undefined sacral. But then also it's very important what you said, to listen to the body and pay attention and take days of rest, which for me today is my day of rest. I'm just going to do a walk. But when I did a year of CrossFit too, a few years in my early 40s, and I felt really good for the most part. And maybe from that sacral energy around me, and because I get strong really fast, I started lifting much heavier than and I didn't give my joints enough time. So I lifted heavy because my muscles could, but my joints couldn't. And so my wrists and my knees were not happy. And then I had to stop. So yeah, I mean, I could have just gone down, but you know, then what's the point? I'm very competitive.
Yeah.
So it's really about like it's important to pay attention, but the group setting, if you're a projector or an undefined sacral and you want to get back into moving, like just make yourself, the only thing you have to get to is making yourself go to the groups for a while until you get into it. And then and then your body will adjust and you will get to this, oh, this actually feels better. I have more power, I have more energy, I have more life, because it's all about like, how do we generate energy, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. And also if you have an undefined heart, so the willpower will not last for so long. So it's really good to have a group or some people around you to drag you along the way. Yeah.
And it's about how do I set myself up for success, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And when you make your workout routine a part of your business routine, then you know, then you're really on the right track.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Well, is there anything else that you think might be beneficial for our viewers to know in this, in everything that we've talked about? Anything else that you have on your heart that feels helpful?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I think if you have a dream on your heart, if you have a message on your heart, if you have a something that comes back to you, and there is a way to do it, and it's your way. So I think of it like we are in a time now where we are breaking free from all the rules, all the set systems, and all the things that used to work, and that we are still learning about all around. But it is the you way. So you need to find your way in it, and don't be afraid to try. I'm a third line, so I can say that. No worries if you make some mistakes, and just learn and build it back up again. And yeah, keep going. The small steps. You don't need to have a plan, a business plan or something. Just get started.
I love it. Thank you for that. And it's so important to nourish your desires, your soul desires. Like you say, are there because the creator wants you to have them. Thank you. And let's end on this powerful statement. And I will post in the description where people can find you on Instagram if they want to connect and read Norwegian or just send you a message. I love everything that you stand for and how you are building your world and taking care of your family and your team in network marketing and your clients. And thank you for coming on today. I think this will be such a life-shifting conversation for so many viewers. So thank you again, and I will see you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I need also to say that you have been a really big part of my business path this last year. So it has been incredible to learn all the things about finding the power as a projector in marketing. So yeah, that's really, really good. So thank you for everything I'm learned from you.
You're so welcome. All right, thanks for watching, and we will see you soon on the internet somewhere, I think. Bye.
Bye.